Across Africa this week, new trade infrastructure, new economic signals, new political developments, and renewed health security concerns. This is Africa Weekly Record Fast Briefing. The AfCFTA Secretariat has partnered with Endeavor to support infrastructure-led industrialization projects across Africa. Trade agreements create opportunities. Infrastructure determines whether those opportunities become reality. Trade leaders meeting at Biashara, Africa, warned that weak ports, border systems, and transport corridors continue to threaten AfCFTA ambitions. A single market moves only as efficiently as the systems connecting it. The IMF says Sub-Saharan Africa entered 2026 with its strongest growth performance in more than a decade. The recovery is encouraging. Inflation pressures, debt burdens, and shrinking aid flows remain part of the picture. The Lobito Corridor continues advancing as a strategic export route linking Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zambia. The project is increasingly being viewed as one of Africa's most important critical mineral routes. In Cabo Verde, the opposition PACV secured a parliamentary majority. The result marks an important political transition in one of Africa's more stable democracies. Ghana has welcomed the first group of citizens returning from South Africa. The development has renewed debate around migration, mobility, and citizen protection. South Africa's mining industry is calling for greater policy certainty, infrastructure reform, and investment stability. Mining remains one of the country's most important economic sectors. WHO and international partners continue expanding their Ebola response. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, health security remains closely tied to stability, humanitarian access, and economic resilience. A Kenyan court has suspended a planned U.S.-backed Ebola quarantine facility. The ruling highlights how public health projects increasingly intersect with legal and sovereignty debates. Mining ministers and industry officials from countries including the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, Egypt, and other producers continue pushing beneficiation and local processing strategies ahead of African Mining Week 2026. China says eligible coffee beans from 53 African countries with diplomatic relations will gain unified access to the Chinese market from July, replacing country-by-country approval systems. SADC leaders renewed calls for the removal of sanctions on Zimbabwe, arguing that they continue to affect regional economic integration and development. Ahead of African Mining Week 2026 in Cape Town, energy developers, investors, and mining companies are intensifying discussions on how power shortages and financing constraints are affecting future mining expansion. Countries including Ghana, Zambia, and Ethiopia continue implementing debt restructuring programs and fiscal reforms following recent agreements with creditors and international financial institutions. Taken together, these stories point to a larger pattern: trade routes, infrastructure, institutions, public health, and the policy choices connecting them. For the full breakdown and sources behind every story, read the caption. This has been Africa Weekly Record Fast Briefing.